Alex, what's the biggest lesson that you learned in 2025?
Everybody's the buzzword now is AI from that standpoint, but the way that, personally from our firm's perspective, they adopted it as well. And more people were interested in it. They've heard it, and now it's evolving so quickly, but our staff are kind of intrigued and curious, which is great to kind of see how that takes off. It's going to be, I think, very impactful from an efficiency perspective. Where it goes from there, we'll see. There's still a lot of unknown, I think, with it, especially in our industry. But I think that's probably the biggest lesson is just what it can do currently and how it can help us.
Do you think we've reached the tipping point where it's no longer fearful about AI, whether it takes our job or not? We've passed the tipping point. We're no longer fearful about AI. People are interested in utilizing it.
Yeah, I think it's interest. I think it's curiosity. I think if you think back, 8 years when the blockchain was the big buzzword, and it was like, okay, what the heck is this? I think we're past that initial stage of people thinking, okay, is this really going to impact me? I think people are seeing the impact of them on their personal lives, which I think is now transitioning into the industry, and seeing kind of how they can use it. I know people in, some of my staff internally, we've had meetings about it. They talk about help them with recipes or meal prepping or meals for the week or things to do on vacation. And so it's like, I think they're seeing the impact of their personal life. And so now they're trying to see how that can impact their professional life as well and seeing the benefits.
Low barrier of entry to us understanding how to bake something better allows us to then adopt in a professional sense.
They see the impact. I think that's the biggest thing is everybody kind of thinks, okay, how's this really going to impact me? And when they start really seeing it and then feeling it, I think then they start bigger adoption.
So how's Rudler currently using AI? And do you see a big change of that in 2026?
So currently we use it in kind of different instances, and still kind of exploring it from a security perspective. We're trying to use it to help automate some of the admin functions that we'd had in the past, and give us kind of starting points. We do have a tax research software that helps us, BlueJ, for many in the industry that are familiar with, that we use that for our tax research. Very helpful. Our younger staff really like it because it's prompt-based and it's typical chat GPT style where you ask it the questions and then it has the references that you can relate back to, which is really good. Just to verify the information, because that's the biggest thing. And then kind of where we see it going, it's hard to say how fast it's going to evolve over the next 6-12 months, but definitely helping on some of the tasks that were time consuming prior that now will speed up. I think our turnaround time, the big thing that we're trying to look at it from is what tasks are we doing now that are very manual intensive, and how can we utilize that to reduce that time and make us more efficient.
So certainly not slowing down in 26.
Absolutely not. I think it's just going to accelerate. I think we'll get more adoption and more use cases of how we can use it. And it's a lot more dialogue at industry events and like roundtables, and when firms meet, they kind of say, how do you do it? And there's a lot more idea sharing, and it's kind of spurring additional conversation. So I just see it growing faster.
Back to 2025. What is your favorite victory or achievement from this past year?
Was just thinking through kind of everything that we did, and from a firm perspective, there was a lot that we were able to get accomplished this year, internally from a structural and process perspective. And I think the biggest thing, and it wasn't even something that I did or really kind of maybe I was a little bit a part of, was our staff kind of development and revamping our core competencies and really being able to give a better kind of path for individuals to kind of move up to the next level and really define it.
Sort of in that employee development, career pathing.
Yeah, because I think that's going to be such a fundamental piece of what we do going forward, because, earlier we were talking about all the soft skills, right? It used to be how do we going to train them technically. Now it's how we teach them how the relationship side of what we do. And so the development of that. What we teach might change, but that development's not going to. It's probably just going to accelerate. And ways that we can make sure we're not leaving somebody behind. And we're training them on the path that they want to go versus what path we force them to go.
So what is something that caught you off guard in 25? Whether it was good or bad, it caught you off guard.
The biggest surprise to me was in our profession was the kind of how the staffing seemed to kind of ease up as far as it wasn't as tense or as tight or difficult, which was a big surprise. When we started looking for applicants, we were able to find better applicants and more of them. And so it was a relief to kind of see that kind of flip. It's been such a challenge over the last 10 years. What's the biggest driver? It's hard to say. I think there's a combination of things that are impacting it. But I think that was kind of the biggest surprise is when we start looking, it's like, okay, we found 3 or 4 or 5 really good people that was great additions. Kind of caught us off guard, kind of really surprised us.
Give me a prediction, something that is going to change or some trend or something that will continue in 2026.
I mean, look at the last 5 years. We went through COVID and the way the inflation went and all the federal money that came out. You almost don't get surprised. You kind of learn just to go with the weight, like go with the flow of it and try to figure out how to adapt to the change versus getting surprised by it and go, okay, what do we do now? Try to figure out how to use it to your advantage. And so I think, I mean, maybe it's more of a trend is that, next year there is going to be a change. What is it? It's hard to say. I don't know that we can predict what it is. Could it be something with, cryptocurrency or something of that nature? Maybe. Could it be something no one's thinking about? Absolutely. There could be some new software to the market. There could be some new application to the industry. I mean, as simple as a law change could impact us drastically. So I think the biggest thing as far as I can see continue from a trend perspective is the ability to be able to just to adapt to the change, and roll with it and not try to, take it back and let us knock us off our feet and not try to, go from there. It's okay. This is the next thing we got to deal with. How are we going to deal with it? And just take it in stride.
Okay. So let me flip the question around. Give me one thing you hope doesn't happen in 2026.
I would really like 1 year that it was actually smooth and we don't have massive changes.
The only constant is change, Alex.
But it always seems like there's something that, there's some curveball to filing season, let's call it, that if we could just have what everybody terms as a normal filing season. I know for us from being in Kentucky, we had the disaster relief with the flooding, that kind of impacted things. And now, if it would be nice if we could have that. I know that's not going to happen, especially now with the electronic payment aspect of things coming down the pipeline. But just to have kind of a year that we could predict is probably the best way to do it. If we could have a year that was predictable, that'd be awesome.
So you're hoping we don't have an unpredictable year.
Yeah.
All right.
If something doesn't happen, just a predictable year would be nice that you could look out 12 months and say, okay, this is what's going to happen. And we have pretty good confidence it's going to happen.